Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets have paused after a strong move over the past about 6 to 7 sessions. No major data points to look at, and European markets were also mixed and subdued. Except FTSE, most of the markets there were weak, and the only important thing to look out in the Eurozone was that the borrowing costs for Italy actually moved up by about 5 to 7 basis points. And when we look at the Asian markets, most of the markets are soft. The Nikkei, the Chinese markets and Hang Seng, they are down about 0.3 to almost about 0.4%. Talking about the flows, friends, FIs were net buyers in the cash market to the tune of about 877 crore, and the domestic institutions were sellers in the cash market to the tune of about 773 crore. And on that note, let me invite Shaival to take us through important F&O Qs, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning, friends. Let's start with the derivative conference. Friends, yesterday trade, I must say that it was pretty mixed session, and probably that is because of the two domestic data which have come in the market. Now we have seen that the IIP, that is Index of Industrial Production data, has come better than the street expectation, and due to which we have seen that the markets have surged on the higher levels. But the CPI inflation have again pulled down, has again pulled back the markets on the lower side. Now we have seen some short positions being swearing off in the market in yesterday's trade, and the PCR ratio is currently at 1.29 from 1.18, which is a decent rise in the PCR ratio. That has been clearly indicating that the activity on the put side is gearing up compared to that of on the call side. Now if I talk about the options activity, now as we have a major event on Tuesday, we have seen that the options activity is widespread, and even that can be seen from the FIS data. From last 3 days, we have seen that the FIs were net buyers in the market, and in yesterday's trade also they were net buyer of more than 3,500 crore. But specifically, they are buyer of more than 4,000 crore in index option. That has been clearly visible from the activity on the put side. We have seen that 5,800, 700 put option is having more than 1 crore shares in the open interest, and now even 5,600 put option is having more than 90 lakh shares in the open interest. Whereas if we have a look on the put on the call side, we have seen that 6,000, 6,100 call option is witnessing a pretty good activity. So that is clearly indicating that as there is an event, there would be an uncertainty in the market, and we have also seen an uptick in the implied volatility from past couple of trading sessions. So that is clearly indicating that yes, the uncertainty would continue to prevail in the market, and on intraday basis 5,880 would act as a good support for the market. And as we are trading above, our bias for the market is still positive. And from intraday perspective, Tata Global is looking positive, so one can maintain a stop loss of 131 rupees 60 paisa, and so one can go long on that, and one can go short on Aurobindo Pharma with stop loss of 166 rupees 90 paisa. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, Supreme Court has ruled in favor of NHAI, wherein they have delinked the environment clearance from the forest clearance, and all the companies which are involved in the road widening project will no longer be required to obtain the forest clearance, and this can actually help the projects worth about 3,000 crore which are stuck for delay in the forest clearance. However, the Supreme Court has said that the clearance will be mandatory for the projects which are in the forest areas. For Jet Airways, important development has taken place, whereby some more details about the proposed deal with Etihad have been out, wherein Naresh Goyal is likely to transfer the whole or part of his holding from Tailwinds to an NRI holding company which is owned by him, and he is going to offer about 11% in Jet through offer for sale route to meet 75% of the holding cap requirements put in by SEBI. And finally, Etihad will pump money into the Jet for a 24% stake, and after the deal, both Jet and Etihad will hold about 75% stake. So some positive news on this deal are out, and you could expect some positive action in the Jet stock price in today's market. EGOM and Interministerial Committee, which is likely to meet up today, is going to decide on the offer price for NALCO, which is going to be coming up for divestment. And in another development, Iraq has shortlisted Reliance Industries and 6 other firms for developing a Narisia oil field and the construction of refinery involving about 3 lakh barrels per day of capacity. In other news, the JLR global sales numbers are out and they stand at about 26,855 units, and in most of the markets the company has registered a growth of almost about 20% except China, where they've reported a drop of 22% mainly because of the Chinese New Year. So one can expect a bit of a negative reaction to the Tata Motors stock on the back of this. And in another development, Supreme Court has warned that most of the coal block allocations could be cancelled where there have been some kind of procedural delays or the proper documentation and procedure has not been followed. Coming to the company specific news, Tata Steel has entered into a pact with a Canadian dollar 30 million with a company where it's going to have 51% stake in the deposits owned by the Canadian entity. So one can go long on Tata Steel with the stop loss of 349 and a target of about 367 to about 373. Raymond has resumed its operations at one of the plants in Gujarat, which was shut for violation of the pollution control norms. So one can go long on Raymond with a stop loss of 314 and a target of about 330 to about 336. L&T, some positive news as Komatsu is said to buy L&T's stake in hydraulic equipment manufacturing joint venture. This deal is likely to be pegged at about 600 to 700 crore, and we have seen a lot of strength in the L&T stock for the past few days. One can go long there with a stop loss of 1481 and a target of about 1530 to about 1535. NMDC is looking at divesting about 50% stake in 3 million ton per annum steel plant at Chhattisgarh, which is going to fetch it about 8,000 to 10,000 crore. And on the back of that, one can go long on NMDC with a stop loss of 142 and a target of about 149, 152. Another development for NMDC is that its weight in the FTSE index is likely to increase, and that could also result into some positive action in the stock. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a nice trading session and see you tomorrow at the same time.